meeting is being recorded.
Rob Kendall speaking with Tyler Bless, the head coach of the Plainfield Quakers. Coach, how's it going?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Doing great. All right, big win on Friday night. We kind of talked about the importance of getting back into the winning way of things after that kind of, controversial loss Friday before. You got to be pleased with how your team responded, really from start to finish.
Yeah, very, very excited and happy and proud of our players and our coaches on just, exactly what you just said, how we responded from the previous week and accepted the challenge and really went out and probably played, without a doubt, our best football to this date and really put 4 quarters together. So I was very excited to see that and knew that it's something that we were capable of doing, just hadn't done it yet on film. So it was nice to see us execute on all 3 phases.
We talked about on the coaches show last week, hey, what does this week look like for you guys coming off a loss versus all wins so far this year? How did you feel the week of practice was? Did you guys do anything different?
I mean, the week of practice was honestly really solid. We had a little bit of weather on Tuesday and Wednesday, not necessarily like got rained out or got lightning out. We just had to kind of shuffle around some of our periods of what we do in terms of routine. So I honestly thought that was probably one of the best things that we did, just because it was like, okay, we got to get this done right now because I don't know how much time we're going to have. Okay, got that done. And then, all right, hey, like here's another window of opportunity for this period for offense or defense or special teams. So it kind of kept us as coaches on our toes of like, okay, what's the most important thing we need to get in? Okay, let's go do it. And then it allowed our kids to, kind of really just have a sense of urgency and okay, hey, we got to go. Like we need to be locked in. We need to be focused. So, looking back on that, it probably was one of the better things that happened, just because of it wasn't a monotonous routine of, okay, hey, here comes this period, here comes this drill. Okay, we're going to do this. So it kind of kept us all on our toes and in a way kind of maybe treated it like a game where obviously you don't know what's going to happen next in a game. So it was more game-like than it had been in previous weeks.
Let's start on the offensive side of the ball. Anytime you put up 38 points, not a lot to complain about. One of the things I remain impressed with is the diversity by which you guys can score points. Obviously, Starnes in the running game, a bevy of receivers. Talk about Friday night, what you guys brought out there, and what you were impressed with.
Yeah, I mean, really, honestly, I'm just kind of looking at our stats from Friday, and it was a very balanced attack. We ran it 26 times for 122 yards, and we threw it 18 times. Our quarterback was 14 of 18 for 184. So a total of 306 yards of total offense and 45 plays. I'll never complain about that. But I really thought, again, we just kind of went out and executed. It's not anything, maybe that we've done it at times throughout the season, but I think we just did it more consistently. We just had a little bit of a sense of urgency to, hey, let's go do this right now. Like, let's not wait. Let's not feel around how this game wants to go. Like, let's just set it from the very beginning. And, did that, got a first drive score. Defense created a turnover, took a shot with Jameer on a double move and executed that. So that was a 1-play, 1-score drive. And then, had a little bit of a successful onside kick that didn't necessarily turn into points, but it still, got the momentum on our side. And then just, we played complementary football on offense and defense and special teams. So it was nice to see our offense, kind of do the things that were emphasized all week long. Our keys to victory on offense were, establish the run game, establish drives, and start to play our best football. So I think we were able to check all 3 of those off the list.
You mentioned kind of statistically the balance, which is the perception. Is like, as I'm listening at home, it's like, wow, there's a run. Hey, there's a pass. They'll seem to even out quite a bit. Is that by design, or do you just get done with the game and go, we kind of did the same on both of those?
Maybe it's probably designed, to be honest with you, just because of, we have so many threats that we can get the ball to. On the pass game, we've got 4 receivers that are very solid and can make plays and have shown that. We've got tight ends that can catch the ball, that also can run block. We've got running backs that were solid. Our quarterback, when he runs the ball, is solid. So, like, we probably try to balance that out as much as possible. I would like to be as close to 50-50 as possible, just to make it that much harder on defensive coaches that we play, just to kind of prepare for everything. But it's definitely a nice problem to have, and it's something that we're trying to do and trying to be designed in a way.
I like you, Coach, for a bevy of reasons, but one is you're the let's get nuts guy. And we had talked about the fake punt the show before that didn't exactly go the way you wanted. And I said, would you do it again? And you said, oh, yes, of course I would. And this week you said, hold my soda, and said, here's an onside kick for you. Take us through that.
So, I mean, the defense created a turnover, which is huge because they were kind of driving, and I think it was an exchange on a run, and I think Landon Drennan maybe knocked it out, and I know Seth Martin recovered it, took a shot, was successful on that, got a touchdown, like had all the momentum, just like we've been practicing it, for a number of weeks. Our kicker Cameron Grimes has been executing it. It looks it's looked really good in practice. So like why are we going to practice something if we're never going to call it? Felt like we had the confidence, had the momentum on our side. We're able to execute it. Cameron recovered it. But I just want to be aggressive in a way of, I want to show our football team that, like, yeah, let's get nuts in a way, but like, let's be aggressive. Let's not wait around to go do something. Like, let's just go do it right now. And if it backfires, I'll take it. I've got trust in our defense. They played solid all year long. If we recover it, feel confident in our offense to go down and get a first down. Unfortunately, I think we went 3 and out. But like that still, I think, wears on the opposing team of like, man, we're just not, we weren't expecting that. Obviously, it was a surprise on side, but like it was something that we wanted to look at, and we've been practicing it for a number of weeks. So I was happy to see it work out.
When you do these things, how much of them are, hey, it's the moment in which we're playing, and how much of it is, hey, we've got sectionals coming up in a few weeks, we got to figure out what we can actually pull off?
It's a little bit more of conversation on the headset between the coaches on like, hey, this is it's there if we felt like we needed it. Felt like we had an opportunity to take advantage of it. We were up 2 scores on them early, try to get a third. But again, you're just trying to execute things that you've been working on in practices and trust your players that they're going to be able to do it on Friday nights.
Let's talk about the defense. Obviously, 38 points is great on offense. Defense contributed to that throughout the course of the game. Anytime you only give up 3 points, you got to be pretty happy with the effort.
Yeah, I'm very proud of our defense for again, just responding to the challenges that we put in front of them this week. And in terms of, Franklin hangs their hat on running the football, and we were able to stop their running back and their quarterback from running the ball. We were able to put him in passing situations. He was 5 of 14 for 37 yards. They were able to run it a little bit later in the game once the running clock took place. But before that, I mean, we had clearly stopped the run, and they only had 3 plays inside the red zone. So I know they got a field goal right before half with some penalties that maybe were, again, questionable, but I'm not going to get into that in terms of whether it was right or wrong. But really, I'm very proud of our defense. Our defensive line played very solid. Our linebackers, again, played solid, had very good reads. And then, Will Freeman got a pick, and then so did Carson Cole in the second half. So really all 11 red there were doing what they're supposed to do and doing their job and execute it to a high level. And again, we're able to check the things off our keys to victory on the defensive side. And that was something that we're very proud of.
All right, let's thank our sponsors that make our broadcast possible all year long. CJ's Pizza, Whitlow's Towing, Gunnell Financial, Remax Centerstone, Julia Burbridge, Midwest Pizza, BGW Construction, Porter Hair Design, Holly Porter, My IT Indy, I-70 Record Service and Garage, Ellison Associates, Remax, Chipotle, and Double D Barbecue. All right, so this week, obviously, week 8, 2 weeks to go until sectionals. We've got Whiteland on the road this week. What do the Warriors bring to the table?
Yeah, this is the 5A state runner-up from last year. So it's a very solid program. Coach Fisher's been there. I think this is his 19th year. He's been very successful there, and he always does a really good job of getting his players ready to go. They're 3-4 right now in the year. Probably not where they want to be, obviously, but again, they're still a really good football team. I think the Mid-State's kind of showing week in and week out that You just got to prepare like it's a game for conference championship like it was last week. So they're solid. They're playing some younger guys in some spots, but they also have some returners from that state runner-up team from last year. So going on the road there is a challenge. It's a unique place. They play well at home, and we need to change the tide. We've won 3 times since 2009 versus Whiteland. So it's a challenge that we're going to embrace, and we're going to break through it and try to have another great week of practice.
When I first started doing the show with Coach Woodard 16, 15 years ago, whatever it's been, this is our 16th year. So 15 years ago, they were literally trading tapes still. So like the coach would meet the coach, like the back of a warehouse somewhere. It's probably something out of a crime movie or something. I'm curious now, when you talk about reviewing tape and preparation, can you give us some like inside baseball on how you get information, like how you review the other teams? I think people would be interested to know that.
Yeah. I mean, being a coach's kid, I remember my dad meeting other Johnson County coaches at like the Dairy Queen on 144 and like 37, and it was like they'd get coffee and then they'd trade like literally a VHS tape and maybe have a cup of coffee, kind of talk for 15 minutes, and then they'd go back and then they'd start just making copies. Thankfully, we do not have to do that, and the internet is a good thing. But everyone uses Huddle, and it's a video database that you're allowed to upload your video from practices or games, and then our conference, it does a league-wide essentially pool. So after our game on Friday, our coach will put our game from Friday night into the pool that the rest of the conference can see and kind of start to break down. And then obviously the teams that we play do the same thing. You've got to have it in by a certain time on a certain day. But we're able to have all those games from Whiteland and really any team that we play from week 1 all the way to this coming week in week 8. So we get that film probably in the middle of the night on Friday night, and then you have it by Saturday morning, and then we're able to send it off and have Huddle kind of work their magic of putting in the data so we don't have to. So you're kind of waiting for that to happen. But all that stuff happens kind of in the nighttime of the internet and all that stuff. But you're able to go back and watch games from week 1 to week 2 all the way to the previous game on Friday night. So that's something that our league has done, and it's been very effective for probably all of us, to be honest with you.
Yeah, this is my customary "you kids don't know how good you have it" portion of the show.
Yeah, it's honestly, I mean, and now our kids, obviously they can download Huddle on their phone on an app, or they can get to their computer and watch it. So, I mean, everything's kind of driven by the internet and by Huddle, but I mean, it's a worldwide website that multiple sports use it, and obviously multiple teams across the country use it.
All right, Coach, before we get out of here, as we always do, let's wrap up the show. Someone or someone's plural who make Plainfield football kind of what it is behind the scenes, who don't get a lot of credit.
Yeah, this week it's a shout out to our managers. Nick Green is a junior, Brandon Newman is a junior, and Jackson Carwin is a sophomore. All 3 of these young guys come to practice each day. They come to games. They go on away games. I mean, they do anything from getting pads out and getting footballs out and setting up stuff to, going up in the press box and running the clock for us. But they're here every day. They show up. They don't complain. Hey, where can I be needed? What can I do? So we're very appreciative of what they do and what they have done for us in this year and past years. But those guys are kind of the unsung heroes of so to say, just because of, well, hey, I need this bag, or I need this drill set up, and you as a coach, like, you've got your position group that you've got to control, and then you have time to go over there to the equipment room to get it. So those guys just help out where needed, and we're very appreciative of them and thank them, for what they do to make Plainfield football what it is.
Can I just say, too, my good friend Phil Sanchez, who's a news gathering partner, he works at Wish TV. I work at WIBC. He lives in Plainfield, and he is like your biggest fan, and they're running 7 stories a week at Wish TV on Plainfield because he lives in Plainfield. I'm thinking he's going to take my job next year, and he will be broadcasting on Wish TV play-by-play of the Plainfield football games.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a problem if it is. Just good old fashioned competition, Rob. You just got to find a way to go 1-0 in your job, just like I got to go 1-0 in my job.
Coach, yeah, it's like 7 stories on Wish TV about Plainfield football a week. I love it.
That's a
Coach,
great thing. I mean, it's kudos to our kids and kudos to our parents and our community and our coaches for buying in and doing what we're asking them to do, and it's paying off. And we're very appreciative of the media coverage, but also just of our kids for buying into what I believe in and to what our coaches believe in. And it's certainly paying off by the number of wins, but certainly not satisfied. Want to continue to keep going and play to our best football here at the end of the season and into sectionals.
yeah, let's get a big win on Friday night, Coach. We'll look forward to talking to you next week about the regular season finale. In the meantime, let's go Quakers.
Yep. Thank you, Rob. Have a great week.